So let's have a little chat, shall we? A little occult chat. I got some time this morning, and there's some things I want to really talk about. So the Queen is dead. Queen Elizabeth II passed away. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because truthfully, I think she's been dead for a while. Maybe for the past year, but they're just announcing it. Just my personal opinion. Okay? So the Queen died, and I heard a lot of black people are on Twitter, saying some not so nice things about Queen Elizabeth II. Here's my whole thing about it. Black people have become very, very problematic. And I'm not talking about whatever they're saying about the Queen. Well, partially, maybe. Now, I've heard all of the theories that they're reptilians, the royal family is reptilians, they're this to that. Yeah. I get it. I'm not denying that nor confirming it. I'm not getting into that whole rabbit hole of what they are. I know what they are, but I'm not getting into that. But what I'm talking about is how black people have become problematic. And when I say problematic, black people have become so basic. You allow everyone to know what you're thinking and what you're doing. There are some things that should not be, I'm not talking about showing reverence or respect to the Queen per se. I'm talking about showing reverence and respect to your spirit and your energy. I know this is above people's pay grade, and I'm not talking to the people who really watch me. I'm talking to the universe, the universal of people that are out there. What I'm talking about is this. Instead of black people getting on Twitter and all of these other social media websites, running your mouth, why don't you go behind the scenes and do something else? Why don't you go behind the scenes and do some spiritual work instead of sitting online all day running your mouth about this person, running your mouth about that person, talking about this person, talking about this celebrity. I'm not talking about, celebrity gossip and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. That's entertaining. I'm talking about using your emotions the right way. All of you have so much to say about the Queen now. Okay, why don't you go behind the scenes and do some work with that energy? That's all I'm saying. Instead of being so practical and basic in everything that you do. Yes, we all know the royal family and, the conspiracy theorists about the royal family. And I'm speaking in my fake UK accent. We all know about the royal family and what they did to Diana and all of the other things that they've done, darling. We all know about the royal family. We know about what they've done. But what I'm saying is, as black people, we always immediately go to unproductive emotion. And your emotion is supposed to be tied into whatever spell work or prayers or meditation, whatever you want to call it, that you're supposed to do. So my question is, instead of you, talking about, oh, she did this and she did that, why don't you go behind the scenes and take those emotions and try to do something with that energy? Because that energy is up for grabs. I'm not talking about her energy. I'm talking about other energies. I'm just talking without really giving away too many details. People who get it will get it. Do you really think going on Twitter, talking about a woman who had a legacy of many, many years of being a ruling monarch, do you really think that that's going to make a difference because your black asses are angry because of some conspiracy theories that you've heard on YouTube? Because let's be honest, none of this, if you didn't hear none of that from YouTube, none of you would be mad. None of you would be mad. And this is not taking up for Queen Elizabeth or that family for the things they may have done. This is not what this is about. This is about Black people always going to the most basic and practical way of doing things, instead of sometimes being silent and going and doing your motherfucking work. If Black people had a day of silence, I'm talking about real Black people, not you fake ones. If Black people had a day of silence and did their work, that impact would be bigger than any motherfucking thing else. That's why a lot of times you don't hear me on YouTube, because I'm doing my work, my personal work. Now, there are people who do make videos on a regular basis because they do work for other people, and that's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're destined to do. But I lead by example from the work that I've done on me. And that's all I wanted to say about that. Stop being basic. Because going on Twitter and all of these other forums talking about, the Queen now, that's really not going to change anything. How about this? How about they're going to open up a gateway, probably using melanin, so she can get into a certain level within the spiritual realm. They need our melanin to do that. And you going on Twitter and doing all that. That's what they're going to pull from. That's what they're going to pull from that. You're going to give them the key to open up that fucking gateway for her in the spiritual realm. And what's interesting is that so many of these niggas that are talking about her, and bitches too, you all do everything you possibly can to harm other Black people. So what makes you any different than the monarch? What makes you any different? Just like this bitch Sweetie that I know, that I was telling you all about. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. This is one wicked, wicked woman. She's Black. And she's a wicked, wicked person. And she's wicked because most of the damage she has done has been to other Black women. She can't do no damage to me because I see her for what she is. I don't care what she says about me. She can't do any damage to me because I already know what's up with her. But then she has on her Facebook page, Black Lives Matter. And most of the people whose lives she has tried to destroy have been other Black women that she was jealous of. So, I'm just talking. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you just don't. Simple as that. Now, I want to talk about elders. And what inspired me to talk about this video was I was listening to someone else, one of my spiritual coworkers, and they were talking about how elders of a certain generation are being taken out or whatever, right? They're being taken out and they're just not available anymore. And when I say elders, I'm talking about late 70s, 80s types of elders in that age range. And I'm talking about elders. It doesn't matter what race you are. A lot of these younger elders, 55 plus, they really don't deserve the respect that they think they deserve. And I don't give a fuck who has a problem with what I'm saying. Because if the fucking shoe fits up your ass, it fits up your motherfucking ass. Okay? Just letting you know. I don't give a fuck about your emotions. This is spirit and occultism. No time for emotion. when I really think about elders in that age bracket, and not all, of course, not all, of course, not all, but a lot, especially here in the DC area. When I think about elders in that age bracket, they really don't deserve respect. And they don't deserve respect because they don't give it. They don't give it. And they don't have the same energy that our elders from the past had. They don't exhibit, nor do they exude that wisdom that our elders used to have back in the day, like our grandmothers, our grandmothers. I was fortunate enough to know my great grandmother. Thankfully, I was fortunate enough to know her because she raised me. So I knew my grandparents and my great grandparents, and I think that was a blessing. And I have to tell you, the elders that I knew back in the day, they are nothing like these elders now. These elders now are out of pocket. They are corrupt. They have no wisdom and they have no spirit. And they are really not about prepping the next generation. I don't care if it's people outside of your bloodline. You're supposed, as an elder, after a certain age, you're supposed to help the younger generation. And I don't mean at your own expense, but you're supposed to give them information. They are supposed to be able to come to you and ask you questions. The younger guys who are heterosexual, and they know I'm gay, when they come to me and ask me questions about the world and about, they have questions for me. And I've talked about this before. The younger guys that I'm cool with that are in their 20s, I just like to look at it like I'm their bigger, older brother. You know what I mean? Not their father, their older brother. When they come to me about questions about the 90s and the 80s and the early 2000s, they have questions. And a lot of them are master teachers return because they want to know what the fuck have you been doing, for the past 40 some odd years. What have you been doing? They have questions for me. Like my play little brother over there in the UK. He has questions for me all day long. All day he's asking me questions, in my opinion, about certain things that's going on. All the time. And I never, ever reject him because he's looking for knowledge. He's looking for information. And unfortunately, I did not have that when I was coming up. Because the elders, I'm talking about the younger elders who are now in their 60s, including my mother, love her, but the truth is the truth. The elders that are now in their 60s, late 50s in my family, they were more about self-indulgence. They were all about fulfilling their own licentious needs. They were not interested in preserving the next generation. And preservation is not always about money. Preservation is about wisdom and knowledge. Because when you have wisdom and knowledge, you can make the money. You can do the things that you do. But somewhere along the way in my family, the wisdom and knowledge got lost. So I had to go to other places to regain the wisdom and knowledge that they should have taught me. I had to go to other people. And I had to look within myself. So that is why I have a certain amount of wisdom and knowledge. And people love me for it, but people hate me for it as well. They love me for it when I can give them something that they need, but they hate me for it when I tell the fucking truth or when I don't want to be bothered with them. Such is the case with this woman named Sweetie, who's a Libra. And you know how that energy can be. Libras can be very wicked fucking people. And then she's on the cusp with Virgo. And Virgos can be very wicked motherfucking people too. We are both ruled by Mercury. If I'm not mistaken, I think Libra is ruled by Mercury as well, if I'm not mistaken. And we really understand the art of communication. I'm more of like a Virgo Leo because I'm on the cusp with Leo. So I'm more of a Leo in actuality. I'm more of a Leo. Because some of the characteristics of Virgo I really don't have. But anyway, this woman is supposed to be an elder. And she grew up with my mother. She grew up with my mother. I grew up with her children. And she was like an aunt to me. Over a misunderstanding, a basic misunderstanding, she's been mad at me for 5 years, which is okay. I don't care anything about that. I don't care if she never speaks to me again. I'm good. I don't need her. I'm not codependent on other people. Even my friend that lives with me, if he left today or tomorrow, that's fine because I'm not codependent on other people. It doesn't mean that sometimes you don't want companionship, and it doesn't mean that sometimes people need other people. I will never say, "Oh, I don't need." No, I'm not saying that. Because sometimes you do need other people to help you out. You do. Sometimes with certain things. So I'm not that type of person, but I'm not codependent on a person to the point that I'm going to take their abuse or take their misuse. And this woman, Sweetie, who's almost 70 years old, she has spent the better part of her life abusing her daughters, both of them, verbally and psychologically and physically. She has abused the women that she's called friend and sister. She's done all these types of things to people. That's because she's up under the Father God effect. She's not up under divinity or spirit. She's up under government principalities. And what's so interesting is that she's an elder, but she has no wisdom. She has no wisdom. And the little bit of wisdom that she does have, she uses it in the wrong way. She uses it to tear down other black women that she's jealous of. She and her daughter had a misunderstanding. And her daughter is a hairstylist, a very good one at that. And in the interim of this misunderstanding with she and her daughter, and her daughter has a child herself, she told her daughter, "You look like a monkey with a wig on. You're a black ugly bee." Excuse me, lady, but this is what she said to her daughter. I wasn't there, but her daughter let me hear the messages she left her. "You have a big ugly nose, and I hope your business fail, you black bee." This is what she said to her own daughter. And then she wonders why her daughter will not let her see her grandchild. You know why her daughter won't let her see her grandchild, this so-called elder that we're supposed to respect? You know why? Because you just wish death on your daughter and her daughter. When you wish or you try to destroy a woman's business or anyone's business, but especially a woman who's trying to raise her child, then yes, the Sweetie's daughter has a baby daddy that they live together. But a woman should always have her own money and should never be dependent totally on a man, because men, especially black men, they flip out on you. they turn on you. Black men are not loyal. Not most of them are not loyal. They're not. And I don't give a fuck who gets mad about what I'm saying. 80% of them are not loyal, in my opinion. They're not even loyal with each other. Just like those conscious niggas over there, they weren't even loyal to me. They turned on me. Y'all know who I'm talking about. They turned on me for no fucking reason. Well, I know why they turned on me, because I'm too fucking real. And they're fake. But that's another story. She basically wished death on her daughter by wishing her business to fail. If her business fails, then she can't feed her daughter. If her business fails, she can't feed herself. But these are the elders that we're left with now. These are the elders we're left with. Excuse me, I'm eating my breakfast at the same time. I'm eating a bowl of blackberries. I eat fruit in the morning. I love blackberries. I love that bitterness taste. And it's good for you too. That's why I look so young. I love the seeds too. I just love the experience of eating the blackberries because they're so good for you. So this is why her daughter will not let Sweetie see her grandchild. You wished death on your granddaughter. You wished death. No, you didn't. She didn't say, I hope you die. She just told her daughter, I hope your business fails. That's equivalent to wishing death in my book. Because you don't want your daughter to be able to feed her daughter, to be able to feed herself. Why would she let you see her child? Why would she? But these are the elders that we are left with. Just like that crackhead bitch that I had to cuss out. That woman was 59, 60 years old. On crack. Causing problems. But these are the same people that will be on Twitter talking about Black Lives Matter. These are the same people that will be on Facebook talking about Black Lives Matter when all you have done is try to destroy other people's lives. Same thing with these fake ass motherfucking niggas. Same thing with these fake ass motherfucking elders in that conscious community. They sit up. They talk all this motherfucking shit about the white man this and white people are this and white people are genetically inferior and white people are this and all that. But you sit up and you mistreat the very fucking people that rocked with you. You sit up and you mistreat the very fucking people, the black people that's helping to keep your motherfucking lights on. That's helping to keep food in your fucking stomach. And then you wonder why you get what you get. The karma, as y'all would say. You wonder why you get the karma that you get. But these are these elders. You cannot have a relationship with someone without there being some form of respect. And these elders, even the ones in my family, they use their energy the wrong fucking way. Now, my mother and her two sisters, none of them get along with each other. But what I don't understand is, how are y'all don't like each other, but you let a bitch like Sweetie, who talked about my dead grandmother, y'all's mother, y'all let this bitch, she said something bad about my grandmother many motherfucking years ago. And my grandmother was dead. I was a child, because if I wasn't a child, it would have been terrible. She said something derogatory because she got into an argument with my mother and one of my aunts, my mother's sister, and she said something derogatory about my grandmother, who was deceased at the time. And my mother said, well, she apologized for that. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if she apologized or not. She disrespected, called my grandmother a whore. when my grandmother was not one. It was her mother who was running around cheating behind her husband's back with Sweetie's biological father, Bunky. Let's tell the truth and shame the motherfucking devil. So no, my grandmother wasn't no hoe. That was your mama. That was your mother, not my grandmother. And what I don't understand about my mother and her sisters, all of y'all don't like each other, but you letting this bitch still walk around after running her motherfucking mouth about your mother. You don't like each other, but you don't speak to each other, but you speak to her. No wisdom. Because real motherfucking women with wisdom would whoop that bitch's motherfucking ass. They would have whooped that bitch's motherfucking ass for talking about their mother. Now, I can't put my hands on her because she's a woman. I can't do it. I can't do that. But my mother and her sisters can. But they forgave her. That's right. It's all about forgiving. There's no forgiveness in that. Well, you were a child when it happened, Seer. I don't give a fuck. She talked about my dead grandmother. I don't give a fuck. And as far as I'm concerned, anything that pushes that bitch closer to her fucking early grave, Sweetie, I'm all for it. That's revenge and reversal. You talk about my motherfucking dead grandmother who's done nothing to you. My grandmother was good to that bitch when she was alive. That is why I'm talking about these motherfucking elders. They don't deserve respect. They don't deserve it. The men or the women, they don't deserve it because they don't act like elders and they don't exhibit the qualities that go along with being an elder. A lot of them are crackheads, they're drunks, they're perverts, they're pedophiles, the men and the women. And they're out of line. And yes, there's a spirit behind that. It's the spirit of poverty. It's the spirit of discord, the spirit of chaos, the spirit of perversion. But we just forgive and forget. Not me. You should respect your elders, not me. If they don't deserve respect, I don't give it. I'm more of an elder than they are. An elder, that is a position that's earned. You have to have a certain amount of respect and dignity to get to that place, even if you did do shit in your younger age. If you come back from that and you make amends, not necessarily to the people that you've hurt, because sometimes you can't make amends. There are some things that you've done that you cannot come back from. At least with me, you can't come back from certain things. You steal from me, can't come back from that. You verbally or psychologically abuse me, you can't come back from that. I can tolerate you, but I will never be able to fully trust you. These elders are out of line. They're violent, they're crazy, and I'm talking about the elders now. Even if elders back then had their issues, one thing I will say about them, they always exuded a certain amount of wisdom. My grandmother used to beat my motherfucking ass and check me all the motherfucking time. But I knew it was coming from a place of wisdom. She was beating my motherfucking ass and spanking me so I wouldn't grow up to be like some of the people in my motherfucking age bracket now that sit online all day stalking women and their children and their families. Or becoming a fucking drug addict or a fucking crackhead. No, all these elders now, all they worried about now is where can they get their next motherfucking hit from. And then they sit up on Twitter talking about the queen this and the queen that. She's racist and so are you. You don't like black people. Them conscious niggas don't like no black people. They just want your money. They don't give a fuck about you or if you get the consciousness that you need. You can tell by how they treat you. When someone comes up under your tutelage for study or for spiritual guidance, you can't just give it to them one time and tell them go on about your business. That lets you know right there that the person don't give a fuck about you. But these are elders, right? These are elders. That is why I miss our elders that's why I respect our elders and love them that are in their late 70s, 80s, because they don't act like that. And even if they do have their shit with them, there is still a certain amount of wisdom within them that you can respect. These motherfuckers now, these elders now, there's not much I can respect about them. They are still trying to live their lives as if they're in their 30s, 20s, or 20s, 30s, and 40s. They don't know how to just be in their being. And people always say, well, it's old age. It ain't no motherfucking old age. They were like that when they were younger. And there's no evolvement. And when there's no evolvement, then you cannot possibly have wisdom. Because wisdom ties into evolving. That is why when the younger guys come to me for information, not no sex, but information, not no sex, information. They want to know, what have you been doing for the past? They asking me questions because they expect me to have the answer. And I should. I've been here long enough. I'm 43 years old. I've been here long enough to know certain things that they want to know about the 90s, about things that happened. I'm that bridge that gaps the past to the present to the future. To them, I am an elder. I'm their elder. I'm over 20 years older than them. So to them, I am an elder in a sense, but not in the sense where I try to use that as a tool to try to manipulate and control them, because a lot of these elders, that's what they do. I'm your elder, so you have to respect me regardless. I can treat you like shit. I'm your elder. I can treat you like shit. I can talk to you any kind of way I want to, because I's your elder, not me, bitch or nigga. Not me. Not me, you won't. Because I'm just as much elder as you. And you don't understand what that you have to earn that respect from certain people. You don't go around thinking just because you're older that means you have wisdom. It's a lot of motherfuckers around here that are just old. No wisdom. You ain't no elder. You're just old. Old and useless. Just like when you were young and useless. And it doesn't matter what you have in the bank. It doesn't matter what type of house you live in. It doesn't matter what type of car you drive. Because heaven and earth are going to pass away. The question is, what are you going to leave behind? Evidently, even though my immediate motherfucking family is fucked up, evidently there is something or someone in my bloodline that had motherfucking wisdom that I had to pull from. Evidently. And I get that now. And the wisdom is supposed to come through the woman. But how can you have wisdom when all you do, sweetie, is attack other women? That's not an example of wisdom, sweetie. That's not an example of wisdom, especially when you're in your 60s. How How are you an example of wisdom? And how can you even fathom? How can you even fathom anyone respecting you when you don't even have respect for your daughter and your granddaughter? Yeah, you want the benefits of being a grandmother, but you just wished for your daughter to fail in her business. And we're supposed to adjust to this type of motherfucking shit. They want us to They want us to adjust to crackheads. They want us to adjust to perversions. They want us to adjust to dysfunctional motherfucking elders, and perversion ain't always got nothing to do with sex. I'm talking about backwards ass fucking thinking. They want us to adjust to that type of shit, and I will never adjust to it. That is why I don't fit in with groups, because I don't adjust to bullshit. And most of the people that watch me, they feel what the fuck I'm saying. Real motherfucking occultists and spiritualists, we do shit behind the scenes. And there's some of us that are on the front scene helping people. And I see a lot of the ones on the front scenes, they get attacked. They're attacking you because you're a spiritualist. They're attacking you because you can see beyond what they want you to see. I don't have no motherfucking elders. Maybe except my mother. And maybe a few other people that I consider elders. I'm a fucking elder. How about that? Not really, but I'm being facetious when I say that. Fuck that shit. Mm. Blackberries are good. I love that bitter taste. You do not have to respect elders who are out of line, who are dysfunctional and out of pocket. All elders don't deserve respect. I know for a fact the elders in this community where I live at, most of them don't deserve respect. They're drunks, they're crackheads, they're troublemakers. And they're still trying to live like they're in their 30s, especially the men, the black men. And most of your dicks don't work past a certain fucking age. So who are you still trying to play? Why is a man, and I'm talking about a specific person, this dude named Danny that I know, old broke down fucking dope fiend who was shooting dope most of his life, or heroin as you all know it as. This motherfucker is 69, 70 years old, all broke down, unattractive, and he's trying to scam older women out of their money. And then the current girlfriend that he has, she said his dick don't even work no more. But these are our elders. We're supposed to respect them, right? After a certain age, nigga, don't nobody want that shit. Well, I'm not going to say that. I mean, that's subjective. That's really subjective. People want what they want. But it's about being grimy. Let me just say that. It's about being grimy. It's not about the superficial bullshit. I'm just being messy right now, which I can be. But really, it's not about the superficial. It's about the mentality. It's about the mentality. That's all it's about. If there was a 65-year-old man at some point that I was attracted to, yeah, I would go for it. Why not? If he treated me right and looked good, or looked good to me, or pleasing to my eyes, yeah, I would go for it. If I was in that position, but I'm not. Respect is earned. And a lot of these elders now, they have not earned a lot of respect because they are still under curses and spell work and what people would call generational curse. They're up under all of that shit. And the rest of us who are moving away from that and looking forward to the future, they keep trying to pull us back in. Like my mother and her sisters keep trying to pull me back into their beef and their fucking drama. That's between y'all. Y'all came out of the same vagina. That's between y'all. And if you want to still fight about shit that happened 30 motherfucking years ago, you go right the fuck ahead. I want no motherfucking parts of it. And the sad thing is, out of all of them, my mother has the most wisdom. My mother has the most wisdom. And I'm not saying that because she's my mother. She has the most wisdom. Those other two, one of them can't stand her. The other one love her, but I got it. Anyway, that's really all I have to say. That's really all I have to say. Um, you have to earn respect. If you don't earn it, you don't get it. Simple as that. I don't care if you call yourself an elder or whatever, because these elders of today, they don't deserve no fucking respect in my book. And I don't give a fuck who got a problem with it. I don't care. Respect is earned. I'm not talking about all of this religious bullshit and institutionalized bullshit that tells you, oh, you got to respect that person because, no, I respect those who deserve it. I respect those who give it. And if you don't give respect, you ain't going to get it. Not from me. You ain't going to get it from me. Not at all. And you should not have to respect anybody who doesn't respect you. And a lot of these elders, they don't respect younger people, even when we have something to say that's of value. They don't even respect it. And I'm not talking about the elders that are 75 plus. I'm talking about the ones 55 to maybe 69 in that age bracket. I'm talking about them, those elders who are still young enough, maybe 55 to 70, who are still young enough to get around and do the shit that they do or whatever the case may be. They are out of line. They are totally out of line. And what I notice is their generation gets worse and worse. It gets worse and worse. Anyway, respect your elders. That's all I have to say. Thanks.